Welcome back. It is episode 135. I'm your host, Jacob Harris, and this podcast is brought to you by Achievement Apex, Power Pit Rockingham, and Rockingham Supplement Mart. I also want to give a shout out to Bulk Gym Chalk and Ped Test Australia. I am joined today by Jaymi Morris, who you may remember from our last episode where we talked about OnlyFans, giraffe onesies, and powerlifting. I met Jaymi at Capo States, and she's now returning to talk about her time on Channel 7 as a gladiator, amongst other things. Thank you for being here, Jaymi.
No worries. I thought I'll start the episode by wearing my giraffe onesie since that's where we left off and that's what people remember me as. So also it's a bit cold today, so I thought, what else would I put on? A jumper? Pants? Nah.
It seems boring. It doesn't seem to match your personality. The giraffe onesies, and it's also like, I feel like when I used that in the title of the YouTube podcast, if I could look at the analytics of people's brains, which I can't, I'm sure that 90% of those clicks would have come from giraffe onesies in the title because it's a clickbaiter for sure.
100%. Yeah. When I read it, I was like, you know what? You wouldn't be able to put that on anyone else's, like only me. And it's kind of normal, to be honest.
Yeah. 100%. It was probably the most memorable thing from the episode for me when I spoke to people about it. How's the podcast going? Oh, it's really good. I just spoke to a lady who got paid to eat McDonald's in a giraffe onesie in her car. And I don't think I ever was able to say that without someone being like, sorry, can you elaborate on that?
Tell me more.
So we just mentioned before, we kind of wanted to pick up where we left off and then we can kind of go into the now because lots happened. We had spoken, and at the time there was the OnlyFans was going well. You were doing some pull-ups in your spare room and got paid money to do so, which is awesome. And you ate McDonald's in your car. And then around that time as well, obviously it'd been not long before that I'd seen you at Capo States. You pulled like 275 when we were there, and you just missed it, which is awesome because I know that since then you've hit some mad weights as well. So I think just after that, and we'd spoken, you went to Spain, or was it the Highland Games first?
Yeah, Highland Games was first. Yep, I did that. It was such a blur that time. It was definitely such a blur that time. I'm pretty sure I almost broke a world record, but I can't actually remember because everything was just so whoa.
Nice. Yeah. And so what was because the Highland Games, I only just kind of started understanding it because I spoke to a guy named Matthew Vincent a little while ago, and he'd won it twice or something, and he was telling me a bit about some of the events and things like that. And I remember seeing some videos. This is when you're doing stuff like where they have the one I remember the most is like the massive tree.
Oh yeah, that big log thing. What is it called? A caper. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I just wanted to wear the skirt. Unless some shit.
That's the best reason to go, I feel like. Yeah.
And just cause, yeeting trees, thanks, I'll do it in a skirt.
Yeeting trees in a skirt. Maybe that's going to be in the title of this one. Did you get asked to go there, or did you just decide to?
Yeah, my friend Brooke does, gets involved with the Highland Games and whatnot. And yeah, it was just cool. They came and stayed at my house. They live up the coast, and I was like, oh, sick, friends are going to go do a comp. I may as well do it too. Bring me the skirt.
I love that. It's probably one of the most, probably one of the things I've observed the most about, I don't know, maybe the last year and a half of seeing what you've been doing is there's been a lot of traveling and a lot of, I feel sorry for your posterior chain sometimes. I don't know how you do it. I don't know anyone that can compete and train like you do so continuously. It's insane to me. So I mean, after the Highland Games, when was that in relation to Spain, and what did you go there to do?
Let me see. Highland Games. Pretty sure I was a gladiator first.
You were a gladiator first?
September, I was a gladiator. Spain was October.
Okay, so let's go to the gladiator thing because you brought that up. We'd spoken about that after the podcast.
Yeah,
You'd sort of told me hey, look, I got hit up about this. Tell us a bit about the process. Tell us how that started.
Okay, so basically, I got hit up on Instagram and it was super random. It was literally like a spam message, you would say. And I read it and it's like, we want an athlete for a TV show. We can't tell you what it is. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, sign me up. Like that was how simple it was for me. So I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And then, a couple of days later, um, people were sending me ads from Instagram, and it was like, "Oh, here, like, apply to be a contestant on the Gladiators," and I'm like, "Gladiators? What's that?" And like, I'm born in 1993, so like, this is all super. Like, I don't know what it is. And so I rang the guy that like contacted me. I'm like, "Is this the show?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, cool. Okay." So I'm applying to be a contestant. He's like, "No, we want you to try out to be a gladiator." And I was like, "Okay." So anyway, this is a really like short time frame. I had to go and try out and just basically run really fast, hang from a bar, step to the side real quick and talk like to the camera. They ask questions and I just rattle on. And yeah, basically, like we weren't supposed to be told for like a couple of weeks if we got in. And like that night, I was getting messages like, everyone loved you, like, we want you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, sick. So, yeah, long story short, I waited until everyone else found out their things. And then I got a phone call and it's like, hey, this is your actual, like, approved notification that you are a gladiator. And we haven't told anyone else their name yet, but we're so excited about yours. And I'm like, okay, what is it? And they're like, Chaos. And I'm like, you're joking me. And I'm like, how do you spell it, with a K or a CH? And they're like, CH. And I was like, you've nailed it. Then they sent me my costume design, and I'm like, piggy tails? Yes, you have nailed it. And then I've got a freaking flame on my outfit. I look like a WWE wrestler. And I'm like, I could have cried. I was like, you have literally nailed me as a person. Let's fucking go.
Fuck yeah.
And, yeah, that was basically it. I've been chaos ever since.
So what was the reactions like when you went for the audition? Like, you know what I mean? Like, were they like immediately kind of just blown away by, like, obviously I've met you in person. Like, some people would probably just be like, fuck, this chick's jacked. And like, you obviously showing them some moves and stuff like that. Were there people, was it kind of like, was it weird, or was it like, were they kind of reacting in person, or?
Well, it's really funny. So when you looked at everyone as a whole, I definitely stood out because my hair was like fire colored. It was like red, orange, and yellow, and I had pigtails. So that was one thing. Which, people that actually know me, that's kind of normal, right? But when you put me with a group of just like athletes, you can see me from a mile away. But the thing I think that got them the most was the fact that I can run really fast. Like I was like sprinting as fast as the fastest person there was. Like I'm really quick. So, you know, I'm good with that sort of thing. Obviously, like if I'm trying to run for a while, not so good, but we didn't need to do that. So it was all fine. And then we had to bench, and they're like, okay, bench like 60% of your body weight or whatever. And so I think for me, it was like 60 kilos. So here everyone is warming up, and I'm like, you know, let me know when you're ready to come and count my reps, because like 60 kilos is like my warm up. I think I benched like maybe 35 reps, and they were like, what the fuck? And I was like, okay. So I won like most of my events. And when I got the phone call, they're like, dude, you did better than the men. And I was like, good.
Yeah, wow. So it's, to me, it's like weird. I'm trying to imagine it in my head, this room full of people auditioning for the Gladiator, and then you're benching there, and like, but surely they knew, right? Did they ask you first, like, oh, so what is your max bench?
Um, well, I'm pretty sure the way it went down is the people that looked for all the people that they wanted as like gladiators, they scoped us all out on Instagram. So they would have known, yep, she's super strong. Let's take her. Or like this chick does CrossFit, she's super fit. Yep, we'll give her a go. Or. So they kind of knew what they were looking for. And I guess obviously, doing it in person, they were like, she's a hit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's to me that whole process is like super intriguing. I think people will be interested to hear about it, because now I'm kind of wondering. So obviously you'd done that process, and then like getting into it and filming and everything like that, we don't see like what it looks like behind there. Like,
Mhm.
was it what you expected with things like awkward and lots of like kind of like camera off, camera on, camera like what was the environment like when you were filming?
Well, to be honest, I've never been so tired in my life. We started so early. I actually started drinking coffee when I became a gladiator, only for that period of time. I still think it tastes shit. So you go and
Yeah.
drink coffee.
I'm drinking one right now, and
You're like, oh yeah, I love drinking shit. No.
but you know the funniest thing, I didn't drink it. Quick side note, I didn't drink it for over a year. I used to just get real jittery and like anxious when I drank it, so I was just like, oh fuck this, I'm just not
Yeah.
gonna drink it. But productivity wise, I'm finding it to be helpful again. So
Ah.
I'm implementing it again, but I'm not even joking. I don't understand the appeal with this shit. Like I'll drink half of it and then half the time it just goes cold, and I'm like, why the fuck am I drinking it? It tastes like
Yeah.
shit. Like, and I hate
Yeah.
anything coffee flavored too. Anything coffee flavored.
Yes. No good. No.
Iced coffee flavored milk can fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry,
Well,
keep going.
so basically, like I was setting my alarm like 4:30, 5 o'clock. We were getting picked up every single day. So I basically had to just like roll out of bed and just be in the car. You sit there super early. Someone did my hair, someone did my makeup. And I'm not a morning person. So I'm in a room full of like 10 or so people that are like full of energy. And I'm like, fuck. So the coffee just kept me on the same level as everyone else at that early stage of the time. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And like I didn't even know what to order. So my friend Comet, I was like, what are you getting? I'll just get what you're getting. So that's how I went about it. Free coffee every day. I didn't have to do anything. I just sit there and someone makes me look beautiful.
Yeah, that would have been nice. That would have been good.
Mm.
Yeah. So how
In,
long would oh sorry, you go.
in saying that though, I was really happy for someone else to like do my hair because like, as a hairdresser, I'm like, fuck, can someone else do my hair? But my makeup, like I'm so picky. Like my eyeliner is on point every single day and I can do it so good. And having someone else do it actually really it was too much for me. So I actually woke up every day, banged on my eyeliner, and then left. And I let her do the rest. I was like, look, everyone's like, Jaymi, just like let someone else do it. This is your time, blah, blah. And I'm like, nah, I've got to do the one thing that just makes me feel done.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like that would be the awkward part, like I don't know, independence and like kind of as you said, not maybe being able to get some quiet time to yourself and like being around
Mm,
people all the time.
yeah.
I've done personal training for a while, and like sometimes I have days where I'm in the gym, and you've got to like keep up a certain level of energy, right? Because you've got to just be like friendly and
Mm,
that, and you do get super exhausted. It's crazy. Like it blows you
mm,
away how exhausted you get from kind of like putting that on.
yeah.
Not that it's like fake, but it's like you can't be in the gym just like, oh yeah, I can't be fucked today. Like it's not really what the energy people want.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, I know you probably can't talk about it too much, but like I don't
Yeah.
even know if I can ask you, but like, did you get paid or?
Yeah. Yeah. We got paid.
Oh,
Like,
cool.
to be honest, like, obviously I didn't work for a month. So I basically just got paid for doing that for a month. So it wasn't anything spectacular. I think more to the point, it's the exposure now from it. Like, everyone knows me now as Chaos, obviously amongst other things. But yeah, it's more like I think the exposure is what I kind of got out of it. The money was not, anything special.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected it to necessarily be, but I was just kind of curious in terms of like, I wondered how they played the game. Was it kind of like, did you get, it's like, do you get paid well, or do they kind of play off the whole like, oh, like you're lucky to be on TV, we're helping you sort of thing. So it's probably like a
Yeah,
bit of both, right?
bit of
They not,
both.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that's not bad though. Like I think even just the way you put it sounds good, right? Like if you're gonna
Yeah,
have to take a fucking month off work to do this shit, the least they can do is like help you break even.
yeah. Do you know what
Yeah.
I'm disappointed at? I didn't even get to keep my costume, and I'm like, man, just give me. I had two costumes, and I saved one, so it was like in pristine condition. I used it one time for the grand final, and I just wish I had got it. Spewing.
Yeah, it's weird that they didn't let you keep it. Hey.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the network owns it or something. And I'm like, what are you going to use it for? I want to hang it on the wall, like, or wear it, whatever.
Yeah, you definitely could have sold that to someone in
Mm.
Pakistan.
I know.
for
I
like $5,000.
could you imagine? Chaos has rubbed herself on this.
I
Fucking
love
hell.
it's the wording for me. You could have said anything, but rubbed herself instead. Like they're gonna be like 10 grand. I'll give you 10 grand. Oh my god. I
Listen, you're $74 for stepping on some bloody fruit. I want thousands for me wearing a flame costume.
oh yeah, 100%. What kind of fruit are you gonna step on?
Well, it's really annoying because like I hate wasting food. And so here I am thinking, great, now I got to go to Woolies and buy some fruit and step on it, waste. But this morning I went to get some watermelon out of the fridge and I was like weighing it out to eat it. And I was like eating it and I was like, this is a bit sour. So I think I'm going to be stepping on the watermelon because I just bought a new one. So I know I could either eat the sour one and then eat the good one, or I could step on the sour one, save some money, and then just start fresh eating the other one.
I reckon that's the way to go. Hey, I feel like watermelon, as much as I love watermelon, and someone said this the other day, it's like I can't remember how they put it. It's very hit and miss. Like if a watermelon's not fresh as fuck, it's almost like I hate it.
It's
Like I
shit. Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, this was me. I was like, okay, let's weigh this out. Oh, a bit sour. No, that's the decider.
Mm.
Can't be bothered with that when I don't have to. Got a fresh one in the fridge. It's all good.
Well, you're making $74. You could buy fucking, 5 watermelons. It's yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And it's like, are you going to give me like an extra $5 to go buy some fruit now, or do I have to take it out of what you gave me? So like, how much am I making? $70? You know what I mean?
yeah, that's it. Hold on a sec. So this $74, is it in American?
Well, I'm pretty sure. No, it's 74 Australian, but I'm pretty sure I was like, yeah, $50, but it came through 74. So it was obviously US dollars or something. So really, I'm the real winner here.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. So what have you had any? We'll maybe circle back around to some gladiator questions, but if you had any because last time we spoke, you had some interesting ones. Have you had any other interesting ones since we has there been over the last 6 months? Has there been any crazy ones come through, or have you made bank on anything?
Mm, yeah, I've made a bit of money, like just here and there doing dumb shit. But like, what someone asked me the other day, it's like they just want like simple stuff. Like, can you send me a photo of you wearing denim shorts? And I said, well, for starters, I don't even know if they'll fit me, but I'll let you know. So there was that. And then I don't know, they just rave about anything. Like I can literally stand there and they're like, wow. And I'm like, what? I'm not doing anything. Like
Yeah, that's
yeah,
that's some muscle
it's
worship.
pretty
Hey,
cool. Yeah, yeah. Like that's like, oh, actually, since the Pakistan marriage thing, I've had two people want to fly me overseas, pay for my trip there and back and accommodation. One was to Africa. What was the other one? Maybe like Philippines or something, or Thailand or whatever. And I'm thinking, man, do people really pay for this shit? Like, and I said, look, I'm not coming by myself. What do you want? And they're like, oh, just muscle worship. And I'm thinking, people are not like that over there. So I mean, like, why don't you get someone cheaper?
yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're maybe not Africa, right? I'm not saying that there's not people out there with more money and food and stuff, but I'd say there's more people you've got that we got that first world kind of resources, you know what I mean? They probably don't see people like you over there, I imagine at
Mm.
least. There's probably not people there's not Jaymi Morris's walking around in Africa. I would be
Oh,
surprised.
I'll just go over there and like fight the lions or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, that'd be, you know what? That'd make a fucking awesome photo shoot, which is a totally random thought I have, but can I only imagine how cool it would be for you to
Yeah,
just be in that environment, like riding elephants and shit. I feel
yeah.
like that would be like you'd be on another TV show in a couple of weeks if you did that, I reckon.
Chaos in the safari.
Oh, yeah, there's something there. There's definitely something there. I like that's the other, I guess, the thing that I think of. Like, do you have, and we mentioned it before, but does that mean like you've done Gladiators, part of you like go, oh, I want to be on another TV show, right? Like, did you feel
Mm.
that afterwards? Were you like, fuck yeah, I want to do this again? Or
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've always wanted to go on Big Brother, so I feel like I'm still going to keep trying. The last time I tried for Big Brother, I think I won New South Wales Strongest in the strongman. That was like maybe 2 years ago, and I had like the Zoom meeting and everything. I got so close to the end, and yeah, obviously it just didn't make it through. So yeah, but I'm definitely keen to try again. Also, I've been traveling a bit lately, and I thought, you know what, I've kind of got a bit of an itch for traveling, so maybe I should try an audition for like the Amazing Race or something.
You did say you could run fast.
Exactly.
Mm, that
I
could be a
can't
thing.
think very fast, but like sometimes it works out.
They just need to put you with someone who can think fast, and then when you need to get somewhere, you just put them on your back and you run.
Run, yeah. Well, my
Yeah.
friend Shani, so she came with me. Where do we go? We recently went to Miami, and like she's very fit. We work really well as like a team, and she and I did like CrossFit together. And I remember this one time I like had her on my back and I was sprinting up and back, trying to do all the laps. And then I hear on the microphone, everyone has to be carried at least once. And she's like 50 something kilos. I'm like 80 something. And so I'm like, Shani, quick, I've got to get on your back. No hesitation. I jumped on her back and she's running, her knees like almost collapsing. But there was no hesitation. We got it done. And I feel like her and I, if we had to make a split decision, it would be absolutely fine. We'll just get it done. So, you know, she'd be the person I'd take on the show, I reckon.
I reckon you just need to send it, Like sometimes these sorts of things can just come from you just making like a fucking Instagram video and being like, put us on. And then people
Yeah,
share it.
yeah,
And then that's it. I mean, that
yeah.
video of you doing what, the deadlift with drinking the Jackson shit, that was
It went
everywhere,
off.
right?
That
Yeah.
went off. That my Instagram literally, I think I had like, oh, I was so close to 10,000 followers, right? And then just before I got to the Gladiators, I'm pretty sure it went from like 10 to 30. And it's like, Jaymi, how did you get so famous? Oh, I was just drinking Jack Daniels and doing big deadlifts. Like, what? And that's probably how the gladiators found me, because that video literally went viral and it would have just popped up on old mate's thing and been like, who is this? Oh, she actually lifts weights, let's put her on the gladiators. I bet you that's how it happened.
I reckon that is how it happened. And I also
Yeah.
just realized that that's definitely got to be in the title as well. So far, it's definitely got to be wearing skirts and yeeting logs and drinking jacks and doing big deadlifts. That's definitely that's got to be in there.
Make a poll, what should this be called?
I reckon just chuck it all in because people will just be overwhelmed. Like, you know what? That sounds like the most fucking interesting podcast ever. I'm clicking on it.
I
Um,
expect nothing less.
no, I'll Photoshop in a bunch of like fucking Jack Daniels bottles and all shit as well. I'll make it look cool. Um, so to take us in for it, like, so Gladiators finished, and then like what, like, did you guys all did you do some kind of like party at the end of it, or was it like, all right, cool working with you, see you later, and then you just went home and it was like, I don't know, just like normal again?
Yeah, it was like, so the grand final, we finished filming that. I think we left the studio about probably 1:30 a.m. And like literally I went back to my room, packed all my shit at 1:30 a.m., had to be out of the hotel by 11, drove home, repacked all my shit, and the next day flew to Spain.
Yeah.
So it was basically like go, go, go. Like I remember when I booked my trip to Spain, it actually clashed with Gladiators. So I lost a bit of time got to go to Spain. So I just had to make it work. So it was very like go, 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 like all of September, October. And it basically hasn't stopped for the past like 6 months up until like literally now.
Mm. Did you have
Mm.
to like sign anything with the Gladiator stuff where you like can't, you know what I mean? Like if anyone was a dickhead on the show, do you have to like be like, oh, you have to, oh no, everyone was fine. Like, or you can be like, no, that guy was or this person was a dickhead. They were rude.
No, no, you know what? Like we didn't have to sign anything in that sort of regards, but like I've never I've never had like such a awesome bunch of people. Like if one person was a fuckwit, like we would 100% know about it because we were together for so long. Like I'm talking, we were together for probably like 12 to like 20 hours a day.
Oh,
It was a long time. Like, and that's give and take. But yeah, we were together for a long time. Like, you'll find like we'd just be like sleeping around the place, like, you know, in our white dressing gowns. So like nobody on the outside could see our costumes. Like, yeah, it was pretty funny. We're all just like where's my dressing gown? They all look the same. Some of us would be like inside tents, like inside a room, just to like get away from each other. Like, but like we were all super close every single day, like side by side on the couch, all on our phones, drinking coffee, monsters, lollies. Yeah.
Sounds like a killer environment.
Yeah. And like you were saying before about, the high energy, some of us would have like super high energy and some of us would be crashing. So it was very like super high or super low, you know what I mean? Like it was a lot of feelings and different energies, but it worked. Like everyone was sick. Like here I am. I was like, man, like these people are super famous. I can't believe I'm friends with these people. And I always used to send a message in the WhatsApp group, like, guys, you guys are fucking awesome. Like, I can't believe like I'm here with you. And they're like, Chaos, like, we can't believe you're here with us. Like, you're fucking cool. Like, so yeah, I made some really cool friends out of it. And I still talk to some of them now. So yeah. And also half of them, like, I can't even really remember their real names because when we were on the set, we weren't allowed to call each other by like Jamie or like Tatiana or, Caitlin. It's Chaos, Raven, Comet, like that's it. So I've actually met up with a couple of them outside it, and I still don't call them by their real names. Like I don't even know who Tatiana is. It's Comet.
That's cool. Like superheroes.
Yeah, yeah. Like in real life all the time. It's fucking mad.
That is cool. How did you feel about like how things like went in terms of the show, like and how you because you like was there's a couple of episodes you were like smashing it and you were like knocking people out hard and then towards the end in like the grand final that's where you lost one of the rounds. Then was it in the grand final or just before?
Oh, so I feel like so we all did awesome. Like we smashed it. I think the way that they put us on the TV could have been better. Um, there was so many, like just coming from me, there was so many funny things and cool things that I was like, this is going to be sick TV, and they didn't put it on. I think towards the end, I feel like they got a little bit lazy with the editing because, as I said, things were happening and they just didn't show it. So, in terms of what we did, I think we did fucking great. But I think they maybe just ran out of time. I think it got put like we were on like 6 nights a week or something for like 2 weeks, and then it was just all done, right? And I think that's because like the tennis was on, and I think a couple of other shows were coming on, so it was like quick, bang it out, bang it out. So I think it was really good in terms of what we did, but I think what you guys saw, it could have been better.
Yeah, it was. I thought that was the biggest thing for me. I was struggling to watch it all because it was like happening so quick, and I had
So
work and
quick.
stuff, and I was like, "Fuck, this is like the
Yep.
highlights were like most of what I was getting." Because I was just like, I actually don't. I feel like I've missed another episode, and it was,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's on Channel 10, which is like weird, right? Because we're all used to Netflix and shit now, where you can just go on and just click it, and it's
Mm-hmm.
easier. Um, but so what ended up? Because I got confused at the end too. I was like, wait, so who was there like a was there like a proper winner? But or because to me, I saw you won like three things, and then I remember you putting a post up about getting knocked down in one round, and then I couldn't find a lot after that.
Mm. Yeah. So basically what happened is obviously they versed us, and then towards the end, all the competitors or whatever, they got knocked out, and Taylor and Kalani ended up winning. Um, Taylor was actually like, if you remember, she literally ran laps around me in Powerball. Like I was fast. I got her like a smasher a couple of good times, but after that I was super gassed.
Mm.
Um, but that I feel like that was probably the only thing I technically lost. There was a duel event where I was versing Julia, and when I went to hit, I was so wobbly up there, and I stepped on her side and fell off. So I guess I kind of forfeited myself. But that was such a big drama. I was like, man, this chick thinks she is the shit and like the top girl. And I'm like, no, you're not. I am. So it was such a big thing the whole rest of the show. Anyway, she ended up losing on the eliminator. But then we dragged her back because we wanted more of like her. We wanted to go against her again. And And then they just cut the scenes out, and it was just like, I wish you guys could have seen it. Like there was such a awesome thing, like Comet, she like came out of the back, and you know, she's yelling, I'm yelling, and the whole thing got cut, and we were spewing.
Yeah, that sucks. It must.
Mm,
Yeah, I don't know why
it
they.
was, yeah.
It's interesting to know why they would have decided to keep and get rid of certain things, and why they didn't just make the show go for longer. I guess they pay for it. I don't know.
Mm,
It's.
yeah.
Hmm.
Wouldn't have a clue. I'm not in the TV industry. I guess I'm just the actor.
To be
That's what I
fair,
got paid for.
yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, it's I feel like it just would have gone way better on Netflix or something. I feel like TV's a. It was cool,
Mm,
like you know what I mean. I was like, fuck yeah, you're gonna be on TV, but then it was just like TV's like not what it used to be. Hey, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, so I was
Yeah.
like,
You've got to go out of your way and watch it. Whereas everyone's scrolling on Netflix, even just to put something on in the background. You know what I mean?
yeah, but now you can, if so, people wanted to watch Gladiators now, they can, you can still go on like the Channel 10 app, hey, and like watch the season.
Yeah. 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 Just look up Google and then just like go on 10 play and should be on there.
Yeah, okay. Well, at least you got lots of like content now, stuff, right? You can just cut stuff from that shit whenever you want and
Yeah.
put it on Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I was going through each episode and I was like screen recording it and I was banging it up. But yeah, I just got so busy around that time. I'm just like, it's sort of like it feels like such a long time ago now. It's like, if there's going to be a season two, I feel like I'm ready for that. Like I don't even know what's going on back there anymore because I'm just so like go forward.
Has there been any mention of that season two?
Nah, nothing yet. Honestly, I reckon if they're going to tell us, it's going to be like last minute because it was pretty last minute this time round. So we'll see.
Interesting. And so then after
Mm.
that, you were saying you went straight to Spain, and then that was for you did strongman over there.
Yeah, I competed at the Arnolds in the strongman. So that was pretty cool. I wasn't training for that because I was training for um, Mulder Street, which was in Bathurst, and so I was still powerlifting training. And I thought, I don't know. As I said, like way back, I was just going through some shit, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to Spain. So I just decided it, and it happened, and I competed, and I won. And I was like, well, shit. And like honestly, it needed to happen. Like I felt really proud at that time because I had like the Australian flag on and I represented the country, and it was just something I needed to do for myself, and to win was just like so special.
It would have been a cool experience as well. Like obviously, yeah, that win would have been, you know, wicked. And as you said, like representing Australia, I think just that in
Mm.
itself, you must have felt really proud. But did you meet a lot of people there as well? Because I feel like those experiences are where that's the coolest stuff, right? Like going to the Arnolds would be crazy, right? There must have been heaps of people there.
Mm. Yeah, it was because it was such a worldwide thing. There was a lot of people that I couldn't understand because different backgrounds, languages, all that, and I know no other language. It's like Aussie, and that's it. And like I don't have time to learn another one. So I met a few cool people, and like we're friends on Instagram and stuff now. And yeah, I met this really cool guy who was like high energy like me. We hit it off really good, and we still chat sometimes here and there. But yeah, I think it was just a really good like overall experience. Like as I said, met a few cool people, had a fun time, ate some good food. Yeah, it was good. It
Yeah, awesome. And so you were how long were you in Spain for?
was like a week or so.
Yeah, okay. And then how because Mulder Street, yeah, how
I think that
far
was
after that?
only like a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks or so later. Mm.
Yeah, okay. And that was a WRPF comp where you
Yeah.
hit some fucking pretty big numbers, eh? You
Oh,
squatted 270?
yeah, I know. Biggest YOLO. Oh, I mean, like, let's be real. A lot of the stuff I do is a big YOLO, but that was a big YOLO. I was like, Sarah Rainbow and Lily Riley have got like 270 on their squat here today. And I'm like, well, I think my PB was like 250. So I was like, fuck it, wrap my knees and let's see what happens. And I got it. And I was like, mind blown. I was like, I literally just squat 270, a 20 kilo PB. I was like, wow. So that was pretty sick for me.
Yeah, fucking oath. And then what did you bench? Pretty 150, 155?
Yeah, it was like one oh yeah, I benched like 150 and then I decided, oh, let's put 162 on there just to see what happens. I missed it, but I was just trying to catch up to Sarah and I was like, you know what, I'm on a roll today. Anyway, I fucked it up. So it's all right.
Yeah, but you tried it. That's cool.
I tried it. Like, look what happened to the squat. So I think I overreached a little bit, but like the thing was like I gave it a go. And then I'm pretty sure I think I only deadlifted like maybe 260 or something because I wanted to try like 280. Anyway, I missed that, but the fact is I've had it in my hands and I almost got it. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, well, the 270 would have taken it out of you too, right? That's a big
Yeah.
20 kilo
Yeah.
PB at that weight.
Yep.
Would have
And
been crazy.
especially, like, obviously I never have that weight on my back. Like I train by myself for fuck's sake. So I'm like, it was a real gamble. It was like, obviously I felt really safe with the spotters and I just thought, oh, I'll just give it a crack. If I fall down, I fall down.
Mm. That was a big comp as well, especially for squats.
Mm,
Um, it's it was funny at the time because it was like there was so much going on with it. Obviously, there was a lot of money up for it, but um, there was lots of just comments on the like the squats themselves. Like it's some
mm,
people were like, oh, these squats were like really high and shit like that. And it was like I was getting sent heaps, and people were like, and going on around and stuff. And it was funny because there was a couple other mates that like posted it, and they were like, I just had someone say they were like. Yeah, they were like, yeah, that squat was high, and they were like, but how fucking stoked would you be because you still got it, and then you'd like still win the money. And I was like,
yeah.
yeah, that's the funny
Yep.
part, eh?
Yeah. And do you know what's really funny though? Like, so I don't know, like I think everyone here wants us to like do well. Like,
Mm,
we see our friends and we're like, fuck yeah, like you just squatted this or you just whatever this. So, you know, we get given the white lights because, they want us to do well, right? So since I've been going overseas, like I've had so many red lights and I'm thinking, what the fuck? Like this is what I normally do, but red lights. And I'm like, maybe it's just because like the people that I'm like competing against, like they don't know who I am. So it's not like they're excited to be like, whoa, Jaymi just did this or Jaymi just did that. Like they don't care. They're just looking for the technical things. Whereas I think here we're just like, fuck yeah, our friends. Like, you know what I mean? That's how
mm,
I feel anyway. And that's just coming from my experience. Like I've been to 3 countries in like 6 months and it's happened at all of them. Like, I went to Russia in December and I'm literally holding a 272.5 kilo squat here for like a world record. And they made me re-rack it like 2 or 3 times. And all because they're like, your knees aren't straight at the start. I'm like, dude, I'm fucking holding a house on my back. Come on.
mm.
You know what I mean? So whereas here, like I've never really had that. And like even the deadlift, I was in Miami and I like deadlifted 265 and I was locked out and I got the down call, put it down, and I got 3 red lights. And I'm like, how? Like, do you know what I mean? Like things that just make sense here are just not it over there or like wherever.
Yeah, I think I definitely I know what you're talking about. There's a bit to that as well. I think there is an aspect of here, like especially that comp, like because there was
Mm,
high squats there, and I like you could just see him. I saw like 3 angles from the same squat, and I was like, all right, yeah, like that's high, right? It just kind of is, and whatever. I'm
yeah.
not the kind of person that kind of gets to like I just find it funny more to be like, oh fucking hell, like that got passed, or sometimes
Mm,
I feel the same way when someone squats deep as fuck, and then they'll get red
mm.
lighted, and I'm like, oh brutal.
You're like, how?
It happened like sometimes at the IPF is insane. Like at the IPF, because those guys are all in sleeves. Some of them have like crazy deep hip sockets, and you'll see them squat to the point that they're almost getting, a fucking massive like butt wink, and like they're like fucking like you can just you look at it and you're like, fuck, I'd never squat that deep. And then they get red
Yeah.
lighted, and you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
like
Mm,
that standard's crazy. There's obviously a different standard with with wraps,
mm.
but I think to what you're saying is like there's definitely a bit here, and maybe like you said, maybe because people are friends or whatever, or someone's doing a crazy weight. We do have the tendency, I think, or at least in powerlifting, people would just be like too excited that they
Yeah.
maybe don't hold the standard where they should. They're a bit like, yeah, fuck it, that was awesome, and it's like, yeah, okay, like, but let's
Yeah.
just make sure we control it a little bit because obviously. Then sometimes people get a record, which is why they get controversial, right? Someone will squat a record and then the videos like the videos kind of almost like circulating and renowned as like we all kind of know this wasn't deep enough, but we all just wanted the person to have the record. So like
That's
cool.
right. Yeah.
So there's a level of that, but I also do think with what you're saying, and this is something like coming from myself, looking at especially like uh certain competitions and things like that, people like yourself, lots of mass is a big thing. So you've got really, really big quads, really big
Mm.
glutes, big hammies, you've got wraps on. Things start to get a lot harder to tell, especially with deadlifts too. Some people
Yeah.
will stand up with a deadlift and it's like they're not locking it out any more than they can. And I've seen you do it in person as well, but because you've got so much fucking muscle around your knees and
Yeah.
it kind of just doesn't look right, right? It doesn't look the
I know.
same. So
Yep.
it's, I don't know. And then you see skinnier lifters. Like if you look at someone like, you know who Kayla Woolham is from the States?
No.
Kayla Woolham. So he's a big deadlifter, like crazy plus 400 stuff, but he's a really small guy. Like when you see him lift, you're like, how the fuck is he lifting that? Like he's got skinny legs.
Mm.
But when he locks out, it almost, the way he locks his legs out, like I'll send you a video after or whatever, it almost
Mm.
looks like you would look at it and be like, oh, I feel like I'd have to fucking hyperextend my knees to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing because
Yeah.
I've actually realized I'm like, what's the problem here? Like, I'm just fucking massive.
Yeah, it's. I remember at Capo States because we talked about it, and I got, and
Yeah.
I'll say this: I didn't give a fuck who's listening because I got a little bit. I'm not going to say who said it, but I didn't actually get told who said it. But I got like one or two people got shitty when we did the podcast last time, and we were
Mm.
like, "Oh, you should have just fucking got that deadlift." I had like two people, someone say to me that like two people had complained to him, like, "Oh, well, you know, they were like a bit upset that you questioned the refs," and I was like, fuck that. I'll say whatever I
Yeah.
want. I was like, me and
Yeah.
Jaymi were just being enthusiastic. I thought the deadlift was cool personally, and we'll bring it up now because let's talk about it, right?
Yeah.
When you lock out your deadlifts, from what I've seen in person, you tend to lean back a lot to kind of counterbalance the fact that it's kind of trying to drop you forward.
Mm-hmm.
And so then at Capo States, that was a part of the issue you were having, right? You were leaning back and just kind of struggling to lock your legs out, but at the same time, I felt like what you did on your second attempt was the same as your third. So my
Yeah.
point was more so not that your third was like, that was perfect. I can't believe they got red lighted. It was like, well, it looked the same as the second one to
It's
me. So
consistent. Yeah, that's right.
yeah, I was
That's the
like,
way
yeah.
thank you very much. Yes.
I was like, if you're
Right.
gonna give her the second one, give her the fucking third one.
Right. Exactly. Like this. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Like, that's how I do it. Like when it's that heavy, that's how it looks, right? So even like when I was in Miami, same thing. Picked up 265, red light. And I'm like, what the fuck? Literally did it again. Like I picked it up. It's all the way up to the top and fucking put it down the exact same. Still red light. Look the same as 250. Like, come on, man. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I mean. I think there's a level of, and this is what people like don't like it when you talk about it, right? Because people will be like, "Oh, you questioning the referees," and I'm like, "Look, man, I know that these guys do like a fucking 2 or 3 day course and they rock up and volunteer all day, and I've got fucking mad respect for that. Of course, it's like there's nothing taking that away from people, but it's a
Mm.
sport, right? If you go to tennis,
Yeah.
right, people that are gonna be listening to this are gonna be like, "Fucking hell, Jacob, you're doing it again." If you go to tennis, right, people don't sit there and go, "Oh, yeah, that was a fair call." People are fucking screaming from the stand. That
Yeah.
was bullshit. Like
Yeah. Yeah. That's
every
it.
other sport that you watch, people will whinge about shit. But powerlifting, as soon as you say something, people are like, "Oh, well, come on, that's not very respectful of the choices."
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah. So for me, I do understand part of it, right? Because obviously that could get taken too crazy. You know, I mean,
Mm.
like if you could get to a point, right, where you're like you're extended at the top, but you're almost hitching it, and then people would be like, "Oh, well, she's, you know, now you're not locking your legs at all or something." So that's why I think people are so strict with the rule.
Mm.
But squats is the hardest one, right? Because deadlifts,
Mm.
you can do that, right? They can look at you and go, "Oh, your legs aren't, they're not straight."
No, apparently not.
Yeah, that's what I mean, though, right? It's a lot easier for them to make that call and like people accept it. Where squats are a weird one because some people squat and then everyone's like, "Oh yeah, but their hip crease looks different." And like what you're saying about your legs, no one
Mm.
seems to be like, "Oh, but her legs are different." Like you said, people aren't taking that into account
Mm.
really as much. Where some people will do it with squats, like people will be like, "Oh yeah, but you know that person's legs bigger, so their hip crease looks different," and people take more into account. Like
Yeah. I know
it's
what
an
you're saying.
yeah, it's an interesting one. I remember it happening with like people's bench press too, because Laura I remember, she has issues with her elbow and like couldn't lock her arm out.
Yes.
She
Yeah.
was able to tell the judge, and then the judge was like, "Oh, okay." And then we had a guy recently at one of the comps I was at, and he can't lock his left leg out because he's had a problem with his knee. So he just was able to tell the ref that and go like, "Yep, blah blah." And then they were still able to take it into account. So like, part of me kind of thinks like, yeah, maybe it's a bit of one of like those things, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, I'm silly anyway because I'm like, nah. To be honest, Jamie, I don't even want to fucking see you in a powerlifting comp. I just want to see you use straps and deadlift as much as you can. I don't give a fuck about rules.
Okay, so here's what I've got out of this. So next time I go to a powerlifting comp, I have to be like to all the judges. Listen, can you just take note of like the size of my legs? They're not going to get any smaller. I am locked out. Let's fucking go.
100%. You know what you should do? Walk up, fucking wrap your legs around them. They'll straight away be like super intense. And you just be like, see these bad boys? All right. Now you
This
can
will be you if you give me
you
red lines.
yeah, you can feel how big they are now. So when I don't lock out, I'm still locked out. All right.
Yeah,
Fucking hell.
you'll be locked out if you keep going.
Yeah, 100%. Squeeze them like a watermelon.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's cool though, right? Because like you've competed in so many different places, so you're going to have that experience. Like and I think it'll be cool for people to listen to. They're like, oh wow, cool. All right, so she went to Miami, and then there was an issue there, and then like it's going to be so different in so many places because there's even, especially America too, right? Because I feel like you could have gone to just as many places in America, and there's some fucking federations over there where I've seen people do shit where I'm like, how did you get white lighted on that? Like,
Yeah.
people squat 580 kilos or something, and it halfway down, and they get it, and then there's deadlift ones where they hold it at the top for like 2 seconds, and then they just fucking drop it, and then they still get the down call, and I'm like, whoa, like that's
Yeah.
so different to here, like it's so. I think it'll be interesting to see where do you have a plan to compete somewhere next? Like, is there like on you? Obviously, you've got at the moment you have a bit of time off, but is there like something
Yeah.
you'd like to do?
I think I'm probably just going to wait for Mulder Street to come back, like at the end of the year if it does, or something like maybe October, November. I'm just having a bit of a breather at the moment, just because I got injured when I went to Pro Raw. So I just think I've been going hard for months, so just going to
Yeah,
chill for a bit so I
we
can
didn't.
send it later.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that. You competed at Pro Raw as well.
Oh yeah, March, far out.
Jesus, fucking hell, you compete a lot.
How did we miss that? That's like a fucking highlight of my life.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. How'd
All
that
right,
go?
let's go. Unreal. So I'm now the strongest in the world of all time in the under 90 kilos. So that's pretty fucking rad.
Like you were number 4 when we spoke last time, right?
Yeah, I think so. 4 or 5 or so.
So
I
you've
was
gone up
like,
4 slots.
yeah. And like for a while, I think I was at the fourth spot, but there was only about 20 kilos between me and first. And so at Pro Roll, I had an idea of kind of what numbers I needed to hit. And in my head, I was like, I need to squat 280 and then everything else will be fine. And my 275 on my second attempt squat was not deep enough. Which, like, I don't know, maybe it was. Maybe my fucking hamstrings are too big. I don't know. But I got it for the third, and I ended up getting injured. My trap was so sore. Basically just, I was like, shit, what happened? I've slipped a disc in my neck, and so now my nerves are just shit in my arm and I can't feel much, but it's getting better now. But I still went like the rest of the day, and I'm thinking, shit, am I going to make it? Because I had to beat like 702.5 kilos. So I ended up like benching, it was like 157.5, which was I think just from my own training PB, it was only like 2.5 kilos, but in comp that was like 7.5 kilos, so that was sick. And then deadlifted like 275, which was like a 5 kilo PB, which the one at Capo States, that was the same weight. So that was the next time I tried it. And I got it. So that was really cool. So it took me, like a year and a bit to get it. But
Yeah.
finally got counted. So so I ended up with like 707.5, which beat the all-time world record. And so now I'm the strongest in the under 90s, which It's pretty cool when you think about it. I was on like open powerlifting, and there's like out of like all the people like or girls that powerlift, there's like 300 and something thousand girls lifting weights, and I'm in like the top, 1%. It's friggin' crazy, eh?
That is insane. I can't believe that. That's
Like
yeah.
it's so hectic. Like I've been powerlifting for like 8 years, and I never thought, oh yeah, I'm just gonna get to the top one day. I've kind of just been like chipping away at it, and I got there, and I'm like, well, I'll be damned.
Yeah. That's it's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah. So what's like I mean, yeah, where do you go from there? That's hard, isn't it? It's like is that why Mulder Street, do you think like is there a reason you would want to do that one next?
Yeah, so I had a really good experience at that one. Like because we were going by our body weight to what we lift, I feel like it was really good because like I was trying to, I guess, be as strong as Sarah, and because she is so much stronger than me, it really pushed me, which is why I, did that 270 squat because I was like, well, she's doing it, I'm going to do it. And same with Lily too. Like she was obviously lighter than me, so we're all fighting to like come first, but we're all different body weights. So like the weights that we lifted were sort of like, well, maybe if I do this and she does that, it'll pan out this way or whatever. So I just really enjoyed it because I was able to compete with my friends, but alongside them, if that makes sense. Like, I think in this sport, there's a lot of people, and just coming from experience, having traveled, there's a lot of people that they are at the top and they're just not the kind of people that I think like that I thought they would be. I don't think for myself, I don't think that I'm any better than anyone else, just because of, where I sit in terms of, first, second, third, or whatever. I'm just happy to be here. And like, I just think Sarah and Lily are very much on the same page as me with that. So it feels like healthy competition and it's fun. So I think I just want to relive that because it was a really good experience and like time in my competing, you know, thing.
Yeah, no, I love that, man. That's awesome. And I can confirm that because I met you
Mm.
in person and it was just speaking to another person. You were just sweet
Yeah.
as straight away, super
Yep.
nice. We're doing our second podcast. So there's definitely people with attitudes about stuff, which I always find
Yeah.
funny because I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
just like
100%.
it's cool what you can do and how strong you are. But I don't know if you're a dick, I sort of don't care.
Mm.
Like,
That's right. That's
yeah.
right. It's kind of like I don't know, if you meet people and they're hot as fuck, but their personality's shit, well, then they're automatically shit. You know what I mean? So,
Mm,
being the strongest in the world, like, no one's going to give a shit if you're, a shit person. So it doesn't hurt to be nice. And yeah, I just try and be sort of open and honest and kind and whatever. And I can still be like the strongest in the world. Like, it's not hard to do both. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, arguably, I definitely think I'd just be better at being the nice thing than being the strongest in the world. I'm just going to keep doing being nice because that's way easier, I reckon. But the other bit's cool that you can do that. But I'll just go one thing at a
Why not?
time. Like,
Yeah, yeah. One thing at a time. Take it slow. Slow and steady wins a race.
yeah, that's all that matters. Exactly. And so we've got to kind of, I guess, yeah, we did screw it up, didn't we? So that's March. You didn't compete in between December and March, did you? Or-
um, December. Yeah, I went to Russia in December.
Is that when you
That
did
was
the?
after Mulder Street.
Yeah, is that when you did the fucking hip thrust thing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was okay. Here, this is a fucking stitch up, right? I know in myself I could not hip thrust any taller. And I've spoken to a few people about this and they've all said the same thing. Yeah, but look at the fucking size of your hamstrings. Yeah, that's why. That's why. Like, oh, so frustrating. Especially too. Okay, this took me 3 hours to get through these lifts, right? It was three lifts in 3 hours. And yeah, I'm gonna say it's another bias thing. Obviously, they don't want an Australian to beat their like Russian queen, fucking champion, whatever. So here I am, like, yeah, I'll give it a go. Did a few warm ups, opened on like 260, and I was like, well, that was fucking easy. And then I was like, jump it up to like 350. And they're like, geez, that's a big jump. And I'm like, no, fuck it. And then I was like, hang on a second. what's the world record? And they're like 450. And I was like, cool, put 451. Just want to have a go. And like Dad said, I'm like, there's no way I could have got it up any further. To be honest, it wasn't even that hard. But same issue. My hamstrings, my legs. Just I can't get my legs back far enough to be equivalent to like an L shape.
Mm.
That's just not in my body type. So I don't know, like that girl's a bit taller than me, so maybe her limbs were different to mine, but I know that I was at the full stretch, and yeah, it just didn't pass. But in myself, I was like, that was a good effort. 3 attempts, world record, like yeah.
Yeah, because you did do 350 first, right?
I did, yeah, I did 350 for the second, which actually pretty sure that was a world record in the under 90s. So technically I got one that day, but I was just trying to go for the top, as I do.
Why not? 1,000 pounds hip thruster is fucking hilarious. That's
And yeah, to be honest, it's like I think for myself, like, and Daria's lovely. I met her, but can she squat? Probably not.
mm,
What really matters? Like, what really matters?
yeah,
I
full
mean, she
range,
had a
full
nice
range.
ass, but like, come on.
Yeah, it's a weird lift to be good at. It's like when people do those bicep curl ones, they're funny, eh? Like super good.
That was there. That was
Oh, it was.
there. They had the thing. They had to like keep their back flat on the board, and they had to bicep curl. But there was some people like they were doing like 100 kilos. It was actually pretty crazy. I
Mm.
always wanted to compete in Russia because I thought like these people are fucking like drinking something different. Like it's just they're all strong there. But yeah, like I got there and I was like still pretty strong. Like considering I thought they were supposed to be like the shit. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Were they drinking vodka and shit, doing hip thrusts?
Do you know what? I actually took some vodka there. Like I bought some just to do it because I was like, I just finished drinking the whiskey and doing all the things, and I thought, fuck it. When I'm in Russia, I'm just going to drink the vodka and do that. But I didn't end up doing it. I forgot. So there was actually a girl that came up to me, and she had this whiskey. And it was after the day's events, and she gave it to me. She's like, "Where's your whiskey?" And I was thinking, like, "Oh, I just did it for shits and giggles. It's not a real thing." But she gave me some of this whiskey and fucked me dead. My throat was burned, and I thought straight away I'm gonna like vomit. It was so hectic, and here she is casually drinking it. I'm like, damn.
That's crazy. It's yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not I try not to drink when I lift mainly. It's
yeah,
you don't want to be too relaxed when you're trying to not when you're trying to be rigid.
yeah. Oh, look, let me tell you, like, I've only done it a couple of times, and like, don't get me wrong, it works. And here's another thing I got to be careful of. I've had a few people send me some videos on Instagram where they're like smuggling the alcohol into their gym bags, and they're at gyms that look like Anytime Fitness, and they're like swigging, and I'm like, fuck, what have I started?
I like it. That's a good trend.
I mean, but they say it works, so I'm like, oh, thank fuck for that. Don't get in trouble.
Yeah, no, it's good. I was gonna say to you, I had like a side note thing that I think that would be cool if you had like a I don't know, maybe you could have like a show called like Drinking with Jamie or something or whatever, you know what I mean? And then you could or Cooking with Chaos. That sounds way cooler.
Oh yeah.
And I
Have you
feel like
seen me cook?
well that's why it would be hilarious. I feel like the video would be so funny. You'd be putting like Nutella on steak and shit. It would just be like so good. And you would like I swear I always laugh because you put that weird thin salted caramel shit on everything, whatever that is. I don't know what it is.
It's no calories. So like because I don't have food in the house, I meal prep, and then when I'm hungry outside of that, no food. So I have to make shit. So I'm like, bit of Nutella. Let's just put that on a raw steak or whatever.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. Nutella all the way and steak. I'll have to try it
Yeah.
still. Still haven't tried it.
I tell you what though, I reckon lately I've been like, well, look, I love pineapple, but I reckon lately, I reckon I could put pineapple on any meal every day of the week. I could put it on it.
Nah, it doesn't go on pizza though.
Yes, that's my
No,
yes. I am.
Jamie, it's like it's too moist. It doesn't even match the texture. It's weird. No, surely.
No, no, I'm that person, and I don't care what anyone says. Pineapple belongs on pizza and everything else for that matter.
To be fair, there was a period of time where Domino's was doing like a toasted sandwich crust. I don't know what the fuck it was, but it was killer. And I was getting like a loaded supreme, and that had pineapple, mushroom, like just everything on it with the crust. I'm not gonna lie, I smashed one of those, and I was a fucking happy man. So
Yes. Happy days.
I'll give you that. I will give you that. Um,
Thanks.
I am gonna. We have to segue into this because I feel like this. If people have been watching your Instagram, then they saw the live. I We're gonna talk about some thirst from Pakistan, and just before I do it though, I'm gonna use this as a shameless plug to plug my thirst trap. This is 100% spring water. Look at that, Australian spring water as well. And so that I needed to mention them, so that's how I chose to do it. I want to hear about. Is it Booby?
Yeah. That's his
Okay.
nickname. I had to ask because I couldn't actually pronounce the real name.
Okay. Did you see he commented on the post? He,
Yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
he's
So
yeah, he's keen. All right, tell us about it.
okay, so where do we begin? Well, maybe like I'm gonna go out on a limb and say 2 weeks ago. So here I am minding my own business, Instagramming, as you do. And this guy took one of my videos and like wrote over it, basically confessing his love for me. And I'm thinking, what the hell? But then the next day there was one, and then the next day, and then some days there was multiple. And I was like, bruh, what is going on here? Anyway, so I check my inbox and I'm forever tagged in all these videos. But at the bottom, it says accept, cancel, and delete. And if I accept, I've opened the window to chatting, right? So I just never did anything. But I always just reshared the video to my own page so people could see it, but he couldn't contact me. So the only way he could contact me that I would respond was me commenting of what the fuck he's just talked about. And so then he'd just make another video. So this went on for like a week or so. Anyway, I'm like, man, this is getting a bit bizarre. And I thought, you know what? I've got a bit of free time. Here he was saying, we're getting married on Sunday. And I'm thinking, well, shit, like, I've got some free time on Sunday. Let's ring the guy up. And I was like, you know what? Everyone is super invested in this. Fuck it. Let's all get together. If he wants to have a wedding, I want my friends to be there. So I thought, great, we're going on a live chat. I messaged him. I finally opened the chat and I was like, hey, listen, let's talk about this. I'm going to go on a live chat, accept my request, and let's see what happens. Straight away, I get on there. You mad at me? And I'm like, what? Anyways, so we're going through a few things, and I said to him, how did you find me? He said he Googled me and he found me on Wikipedia. So he's researched me. I thought, okay, you're researching me. What do you know about me? Long story short, didn't know anything about me. Asked me if I like cricket. I'm thinking, are you joking me? I don't like cricket. Like, fuck me. So anyway, we're back and forth chatting. His mum knows about me. Then she comes into the equation, and I'm like, fuck, like, I'm not ready for this. Like, he wanted to meet my family. I'm thinking, well, for starters, like, I don't really have a big family, but you can meet my dog. And anyway, I'm like, look, this is just not for me. I told him, like, it's not it. And then he started crying. And then I felt bad. I was like, bro, like, come on. And he was crying. And I'm talking like, and I was like, fuck, I gotta go. Anyways, I felt really bad. And like, I gotta go. And I just put the phone down and I'm like, I'm leaving. And then he's like, no, no, no. So I was really upset about it. And yeah, then I was like, you know what? Like, the people want to know what's up. So I messaged him. I said, Booby, I just want to know if I've got like permission to show the people what happened. And he's like, you can post anything you want about me, rah, rah, rah. I was like, great. And yeah, so I did that and whatnot. And then he said, look, Instagram is not worth having if I can't post you. So he deleted his account. But then he came back. And then now I've got messages from him saying, Jaymi Jigsaw, if I'm a bad boy, please forbid me. And I won't make any more videos of you after today. So I'm not sure if I'm expecting a video today, but after today, there should be no more booby. The end.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's oof, interesting uh encounter there
You
across
know
the
what you would
world.
call that? That is some fucking chaos for
That is
sure.
that is some chaos for sure. I
And the chaotic floodgates have now opened because I've had Indian, African, friggin' more Pakistan, Filipinos, all inboxing me. Will you marry me? And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? What's my favorite color? Wrong, wrong. These people just want to get married. They don't know shit about me. Literally post my life story on Instagram and you don't know shit.
is your favorite color pink?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
the meantime, anyway.
I was going to say, yeah. But you think they would have at least, surely they would have started with that being
Yeah,
the most obvious.
that's what I'm saying. When I said to him, I'm like, pink, like I'm not giving it away at all.
Yeah, wow. That's
My
come on,
nails are
mate.
pink. Like, fucking hell.
I feel like I need a follow up.
Yeah.
I want to see Jamie goes to Pakistan. You know what I mean? And meets Booby's family.
You know,
It's
as I said, like I literally, if there's a powerlifting comp there that I could win, I'd probably go just for the sake of traveling, the experience, running a mark, whatever. But I just don't know if I can deal with it. Like it sort of took a lot. Like I just don't have a lot of free time. And I really went out on a limb. I just gave the guy my free time and I'm busy now. So, you got to take what you can get from me.
if he's going to want to marry you, he's got to accept your lifestyle.
Absolutely. And like when I asked him, I said, look, when I'm sad, I just go to the gym. And he was just like, it was the sigh and the eye roll. It was oh. And I was like, you know what? It's not it for me. You got to go.
That's yeah. That's I remember our initial conversations because there was a couple last time where you were telling me there was like someone who wanted to come to. Were they going to come to Melbourne and they offered you a stupid
Oh,
amount of
yeah.
money?
Yeah. Okay. That happened. That happened.
You did that.
I did that.
Can we hear
Okay.
about
Here
it?
it is. Here we go. Okay. All right. So two guys from Melbourne. I went to Canberra. I met up with them in Canberra. And yeah, lovely guys. Weird experience, but it's fine. It was all good. Everyone was happy, whatever. uh 3 hours out of my day, right? 3 hours out of my day.
Yeah.
The first guy, won't mention any names because you know what? People like what they like, and I can be that girl, whatever. Right. So the first guy flew from Melbourne and back in the same day. Basically just wanted his head squashed between my thighs. And like, let me tell you, it was pretty close to comfort. He was very lucky guy that day. And it was kind of weird for me, but he was a nice guy. He didn't make it weird. And it was all good. 1 hour of my time, all good. There you go. Loved it. So that was
So
cool.
sorry, I got questions.
Go.
There's. So how long did you squish his head for?
Well, not long, but multiple times because could you imagine being squashed by me? Like, fuck me, you'll pass out in like a second. So it's the initial like tap out. All right, we're good. Breather. Okay, let's go again.
And was it just you and him? Were you in a
Just me and him.
hotel
Yeah,
room?
in a hotel room. Just me
And
and him, hotel room. Like, what you see is what you get. Yep.
he wasn't being sexual or anything. He wasn't. What was he?
Nah,
Was he wearing normal clothes?
he was wearing jeans. He actually looked a little bit like Napoleon Dynamite, which sort of took the edge off things because I was like, oh, this guy's kind of funny. Yeah.
How much did you get paid for this?
I think it's like over $1,000. Yeah. For an hour of my time, like I can do it. I can do it.
Yeah, for
It's all
sure. Yeah.
good.
And
Yeah.
then what was it? So like, was it just like thanks for that. Lovely to meet you. See you later.
Yeah. Yeah. He walked me to the corridor and I left and I got in my car and I went and saw the next guy.
Tell us about
That was
that.
it. So the next guy, okay. Won't mention any names, but here's the story. So
Okay.
here we are. Here we are. We're walking in the casino. In the casino. So a pretty fancy place. Here I am. And at this point in time, I was the fourth strongest in the world. So here we are walking. And he looked a little bit nervous. I said, "What's wrong?" And he's looking at me and he's just like, "Nervous." And I'm like, "What are you nervous for?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm just walking down the corridor in the casino with the fourth strongest girl in the world. Like, okay, I can imagine you'd be a bit nervous." I said, "Don't worry about it. It's just me. It's all good. Like, whatever." Anyway, so we get in the hotel room and I'm like, "Oh, I just need to go to the bathroom real quick." And he's like, "Yeah, no worries. Do you mind if I just take my clothes off?" And I'm thinking, what? So here I am, no pun intended, shitting myself like, fuck. I'm sitting here and I'm like, 2 hours, I got to be here. Let's fucking go.
Sorry,
So,
just to completely clarify, did you
was it?
actually take a shit?
Nah, was just
Okay.
sitting there. But
Okay.
I was weighing, but I was just sitting there and I'm like, fuck. Anyways, I was like, as soon as I open this door, it's happening. So all I took with me was my phone, my bag, and my drink bottle. And I had to be there for 2 hours. And anyways, as I said, people like what they like. And I'm just like, look, I can be that girl. All good. We're here for a job, and that's what it is, right? I'm getting paid to be here. So I just thought of something. I'll get to it.
I'm fucking loving this. Keep going.
All right. So we get, hang on, I'm getting hot. Let me just take this onesie off. All right. All right. All right. So we get in there, and I'm like, right, muscle worship. That's what you want. That's what you wanted. So here I am. I took my t-shirt off and I'm basically wearing like my crop top and my gym shorts. Nothing fancy. Everyone sees me every day and it's all good. He's just touching me. Like I'm talking, just rubbing me. And I'm like, listen, don't get any closer. Don't. He's like, can I kiss your arms and stuff? And I was like, look, yes, but just don't kiss my face because that's fucking, you know what I mean? No.
Mm.
So I just let it happen. So here I am getting touched all over and I'm like, it's a job, it's a job, it's a job. And as I said, people like what they like, and that's just, I was happy to be there, whatever. It was difficult, but I was there. All good. Okay. So then I'm like, so what do you want out of this? Like, and just because I'd come back from squashing a guy's head, I was like, do you want me to do that to you? And he wasn't that interested. So I was like, okay. I was in the rhythm of things, I just spent an hour doing it. I was ready to go, like squashing heads, like fucking line them up. Anyways, he wanted to be picked up, carried. So I was like, okay, I can lift you up. Like I can pick shit up. How much do you weigh? About 80 kilos. Okay, cool. So I was like, all right, well, which way? Anyway, like this, carried like in front. So it was like, I'm pretty sure it's called like cradling or something, like a baby. So here I am, cradling a grown man like a baby.
So
As I said,
he's in his underwear.
oh yeah, he's in his underwear only. Underwear only. So here I am doing that. You can only do it for so long. So I put him down. Anyway, just to be exciting, obviously they want to feel my strength. So I've got this guy and I just bloody yeeted him onto the bed. And I'm like, I've got to make fun of it because it's like, I'm here for 2 hours, right? It's got to benefit me in some way. So I was like, fuck it, let's just yeet this guy. He frothed it. I frothed it. All good. Anyways, so then I just did a couple of other things. Like he sat on my shoulders. I did a couple of squats. I walked around the room. I was like, do you want to like film some of this stuff so you can watch it later? So we did a bit of that. And then he's like, can you lay on me? I was like, what do you mean? And he just wanted to feel my body weight like pushing down on him, like. So I was like, all right. So we did that. Then I got off and I was like, I'm just going to go sit over here. So here I am sitting here, side by side, just touching my leg, rubbing it. And I'm like, yeah, we're here for a job, And then he's like, can I sit on your lap? I was like, all right. So he sat on my lap and here I am cradling him while he's sitting on my lap. And I'm like, I can't go anywhere. I'm just going to sit here and wait till he gets off. He eventually got off. Then he asked me to sit on his lap, and I'm like, okay.
This is fucking wild, eh?
You think it's wild? Try being there.
I,
Okay.
oh yeah, I don't think I could have maintained myself
It
in
was
that
hard.
situation. That would have been very hard.
It was hard. Anyway, so here I am sitting on his lap, and like, where am I supposed to put my arms? Like, fucking, I can't free range because I can't even curl up like that. So I had to sort of like hug the lounge, you know. And I said, I feel like the biggest baby right now. And he's like, you're the strongest baby I know. Then I felt weird. So anyway, I got off. He sat on my lap a couple more times, and I just let it be. Anyway, we had so much more time to kill. And he was saying, he was just, getting into the gym and stuff. So I was like, okay, here's my time to shine. What do you need help with? So I went through how to deadlift. So we were practicing deadlifting, right? He's in his undies. I'm in my gym clothes. I'm like, all right, let's just go into PT mode. I'm going to teach you how to deadlift. So here I am teaching him. And his form was a bit off, so I was fixing it. I was like, you've got to tense up. Like, you've got to, hold it like hard. So he gets down, gets all like in his position and whatnot, goes to do the deadlift. But while he was bent over, he farted.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that. I thought you were
And I
gonna.
was like, no, no fucking way. I didn't want to make it weird, so I just had to pretend it didn't happen.
Was it loud?
It was loud. It was, listen, it's me and him in a hotel room and he farted. It's fucking loud. Right?
Was it
So,
was it like a drawn out one? Was it how loud? Are we talking a serious fart? Like a
nah, like, I'm going to go out on a limb and say like medium. It was enough to be known, but nothing too extreme.
did
It
it
was just
smell?
enough to be known. Well, at this stage, I just got up. As I said, I only had my drink bottle in my bag. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to go have a drink. So I did get over here. I didn't want to know about it. I just want to forget.
Did he
So,
address it? Did he just pretend he didn't fart?
no, we didn't talk about it. That was it.
as if
Deadlift, fart, forget about it.
as if the atmosphere wasn't weird enough.
Oh, here I am like, fuck, I still got 45 minutes. Anyway, nice guy and all, but it was just an experience. I think if I ever do muscle worship again, 1 hour at the most, because you just don't know what to do, especially when you don't know someone and you need to talk to them for 2 hours and we have nothing in common, really. Then what do? It's difficult. I'm telling you. So anyway, part of the job. Haven't done it since.
Jeez.
Yeah.
How much?
So,
How much do you get paid for that one?
well, that was about double the other guy. It was probably close to like 2 grand. Keep in mind, he traveled from Melbourne and back. I think he might have stayed the night. So at his expense would have been a fair bit, especially staying at the casino.
So you got paid 3 grand for
Three
two.
grand for about 2 hours of my time. Yeah.
I've just
So
realised that squash and heads is going in the title as well.
yeah. Yep.
That's
Yep.
unreal.
Yep. Skull crushing for the win.
Skull crushing for the win. Oh, that's one of the wildest stories I've heard. I can't believe. Is that the only time you've done that?
Yeah, yeah. Well, those 2 times, like I set it up because I don't have a lot of free time, and I go down to Canberra to like visit my sister and stuff. So I thought, well, in terms of like airports and being able to travel, like no one can come to Nowra. Like it's in the fucking middle of nowhere. But you can get to the airport in Canberra and then you can catch an Uber, right? We don't have that here. So while I was in Canberra, I was like, right, this is the time, we're doing it, book it in, let's go. Two birds with one stone kind of thing. And yeah, so that was sort of the only sort of time that I did do it. But as I said, like it's weird, but these people like this stuff and I can be that girl. And I've had multiple things, like this morning, like someone wants me to squash the fruit. So, you know, people are just interested in these things. And just from like a strong woman, like I can do that for them. It's just, you've just got to be like, it's just a job. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Like
I
when you
wish
talk about it, it's weird, but like I got paid for it. So is it really that weird? Like I literally got paid to eat fucking McDonald's in this onesie. Like, come on,
Here's
who
the
cares?
thing. When you say like you got paid for it, so is it really that weird? It's definitely still that weird, but who cares because you got paid for it. But like it
Because
let's
money.
yeah. I wouldn't
Money
be
weird.
I wouldn't be embracing it if I thought it was bad weird. I definitely think it's good weird. I find it hilarious that you did it, and
Mm.
I just can't even believe that it's a thing. And I didn't even think we'd maybe be able to up the last episode, but I think we might have with this one.
Hey, well, look, like I can't even tell you like the amount of shit that goes on in my life. You'll literally have a field day if you like took my phone and just went through all my inboxes. Like, what is it? This morning, this guy, he's like a DJ, and like he just reached out to me, and he was like commenting, you're so attractive, all this stuff. And then I was like, I'm just gonna go on his page real quick. He's a fucking really awesome DJ. I'm like, dude, can you make me a song? Like, I want to deadlift to that. Like, so you come across the people that overshare, but something good might come out of it. And I think it doesn't take much to just invest your time into these little things, because you get these stories and you get these experiences, and that's kind of what I'm all about. Like, life is too short to be boring. So just fucking send it in every avenue. Talk to the Pakistani guy. Go and squash the head, do whatever it takes. Be the strongest in the world. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Do it all.
that's my question is those those abduction machines in gyms,
Yeah.
can you max one of them out? Surely you can max one of them out.
Okay. So I had to go on one the other day, and I've only played on that for like maybe a couple of times. So we don't have one in my gym. Every time I go on it, it fucking hurts my vagina. Like every time. It's, I don't know. It's like a shooting pain. It's like zing, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going too heavy or I'm just not used to it. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I got used to it, I could get used to it. But it's just not for me right now. So I don't really
Mm.
dabble on it.
I wouldn't want to. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't wish upon you vaginal discomfort. That sounds not like it's worth it. Like whatever
No.
gains you could make would not be
Maybe if
worth
I
it.
got paid for it. Maybe if I got paid for it, it'd be different. But just out of my own, wanting to, probably not.
No, no, it doesn't sound like it's. Yeah, wow, okay. I don't
Not great.
even. We've definitely hit the peak. Is there anything else that we've missed in terms of? I feel like we've definitely covered every competition that you did, and then you're on television, and now we've covered a lot of the. I
Mm.
don't even know what to call them. OnlyFans expeditions.
Call it whatever you want. It's still weird.
I love that it's weird. It's the best part. So yeah, is there any other big life changes for you that has
Yeah, the
happened?
other, yep. So from the Gladiators, I made a brand, Chaotic. You've probably seen me wearing the shirts.
Mm.
So I want to try and branch out in that. I feel like just my all my different little personalities that I've got, whether it's hairdressing or it's just me as a person or my powerlifting or whatever, I feel like Chaotic sums it up really well. And also, coming from my chaos character, it just all fits. Um, in the gym and stuff, like I'm a little bit crazy. My hair's always wild, so I think my chaotic brand is very on par with me as a person. So for those people that like want to support, the things that I do and, get behind me, you can go to my website, jamiejigsaw.com.au, and buy like the shirts and stuff. And as I said, I want to try and branch out a little bit more on that as well. So that's something that I'm really excited about. I see all these people with their brands and stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I'm a freaking brand. Like, I've got all these girls that look up to me and like want to be, doing the things I do and inspired and stuff. And I think this is just something that maybe I can give back to them so they can wear like pink and black and feel a bit crazy. And yeah, it's like a part of me and them. And it's nice to see people that support me. And so when they post their videos on Instagram and stuff, I can see that they're supporting me. And it's just, yeah. So if anyone wants to get chaotic, buy the shirt.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's awesome. It's
Mm,
social media is allowed so much more now. Whether
mm,
it's connecting with people everywhere, which has been a big part of what you've done, or just kind of it's not about like when you simplify it in terms of something as like making money, it sounds shitty. It sounds like weird and shitty and kind of just like
Yeah,
trivial, but it's more than that. It's about like the fact that
connection.
yeah, it's the fact that you can do that. Like now that you can put time into connecting with people and like creating something. Whereas I think a lot of people just if someone works like a 9 to 5, they're like, oh fuck, I just don't have time for that. Where like if you kind of do it in the way, obviously you work for yourself, and then I do it too in the sense that because I'm like a personal trainer, I'm in the gym. So in between stuff, I can film a fucking video or something if I want. You have to have the
Mm,
motivation to do it.
yeah.
But even this podcast, right? It's like I take 2 hours out of my day to sit and do it or whatever. And then someone might look at that and be like, oh, but it's like, doesn't it feel like a job? And I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know, maybe if you put it in those terms, but to me, I just kind
Mm,
of think it's cool. I like that I can do it. I like that you can be in a fucking different time zone and we can sit and have a conversation. And then I like the editing process. I like that I'm going to be able to put some of these snippets together and chuck them out. And then people can see something we've talked about. And then they might even
mm,
if they just get a laugh out of it. And like, so kind of what you've said, you yourself are a brand. And so you kind of like that. Once again, it just might even make someone else feel like they can be
yeah.
whatever they want to be as well, right?
Yeah. I've had so many girls, mostly girls, a lot of guys too, but like, because I lift heavy weights, the guys are like, wow, like, if a girl's doing it, I can do it. So I'm very motivating, but I'm just doing the stuff I like to do. So, when I see someone wearing my shirt in another gym or I see them tagging me, it makes me feel like I'm doing a good job. And that's all
Mm.
I ever want to do. Like I've always only just wanted to do my best, and I'll always do that. And so it's nice to see that it's sort of come full circle. Like I'm inspiring people, I'm making people happy, making people laugh, people getting something out of me existing, and it's kind of cool.
But also you're getting that experience, right? Like you're getting
Mm.
that, like you said, you're living like that kind of life. I feel like I just interact with a lot of people, man, who just like, no, doesn't seem like they're getting whatever they should be getting out of the
Yeah.
experience of life, sort of thing. Where I mean, your
Yep.
your
I'm getting it.
experiences,
I'm getting the whole thing. I'm getting the whole damn experience, left, right, and center.
yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm jealous in some ways, maybe not in others, but like I'll say that to me, I just think I don't think I've spoken to anyone recently that's uh yeah, at your level. So, you know, yeah, I think, and that's a great place for us to, I guess, wrap this podcast up too, to people kind of like understand the whole journey of when we started to kind of picking up to where we left off and then going through everything. You've obviously had a bit of time recently that's been a bit difficult because of the injury, but I also feel like if anyone can bounce back from it, it's you.
Yeah, watch this space. I'm coming in hot.
Yeah, 100%. That literally hot. You had to take the draft onesie off. It's a
I
you're
know.
coming in hot.
I still got the pants on and I'm literally sweating. I can't wait to get it off.
Well, that's our cue. I want to thank you so much for coming on once again, and I hope one day we can do one of these in person. I don't know if your plans to ever are you ever going to come back here again? You think?
I don't know. We'll see what happens. See where the time takes me. Maybe someone wants a head squashed over there. I might make the trip.
Maybe. I reckon I just got to come over there. I feel like there's more going on over there anyway. So I would like
Or is
to.
there?
Well, yeah.
I'm,
I mean,
I'm always traveling. So is there anything going on here? Maybe not.
this is true. I mean, it would be cool to go to Pro Raw one year, maybe. Like,
Mm.
because you'll probably do one of them again, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've got I've won the under 90s 2 years in a row now. So I feel like it's inevitable that I have to just keep going and just hold the title.
Sort of, right? Yeah. Like I
Mm.
feel like now that it's yours, you kind of want to at least. That's the
I can't
cool.
wait.
That's the yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
you want, and hopefully things just kind of turn around anyway. And like, obviously, I'll be keeping track of whatever you guys, what you're doing, and everyone knows they'll be following Instagram. As you said, you put enough out there, so I'm sure we'll all be aware of where you're at, and hopefully the arm starts to come good.
Mm.
And as you said, yeah, if anyone wants to get on any of the merch stuff, any of that sort of stuff, send to me. I'll definitely share it. I want people to be able to
Yep.
get in on that. That's awesome.
Yeah, sounds
And
good.
yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know what time it is over there. About lunchtime, about 1 o'clock. Hey,
Yeah, my stomach's starting to tell me it's 1:06, so I should probably go eat.
yeah,
Just so you know, I'm having chicken, rice, and pineapple for lunch,
chicken, rice, and pineapple.
and squashing the watermelon because it's sour.
So
But I'm getting paid for it. So it's okay.
you're gonna step on the watermelon. Well, I hope you have a good time doing that, and we will speak again soon, I'm sure.
Sounds good. Maybe we'll have like a quicker chat if we talk, closer than 6 months. We've got so much to talk about because it's just so chaotic.
Oh, I'm sure we will, but to be fair, within that 6 months, knowing you, you will be able to find a way to fill it up with stuff.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
It was good
Where there's a
chatting to you,
will, there's a
Jamie.
way. Yeah, you too.
Let's talk again soon.
All right. See ya.